Well, good morning and welcome to an extremely cold day in the tropics. Of course, if you're practicing a devotional path or a spiritual path, there's no such thing as an extremely cold day. There's only a day and only an opportunity to practice the principles of your path, which is letting go of all the definitions that I think everything means, and applying those principles to the relationships and things that show up for me in my life, whether that's relationships with the weather, relationships with people, animals, doesn't really matter, planets, stars, philosophies, everything. So the idea, and if you've been on YouTube, I mean, a lot of people send me things. I got sent a very nice poem this morning, but a lot of people send me things that they find, you know, like they'll watch a video and I'll say something like, oh, there is no world, it's an illusion, and then the next thing you know, someone will send me a thing about the virtual world, a link to some video that where some scientist is attempting to prove his theory that the world doesn't exist. And it's like, well, the planet's waking up, you know, there's a lot of people waking up now and beginning to realize, or at least suspect, that there's something wrong with the world. There's something wrong with the way things are here, with the thought system that people have developed for themselves in the world, and that's the one that I am more concerned about. Whether you want to believe the world is real or not doesn't really matter. I mean, it's a focal point for allowing yourself to undergo an ongoing process of metamorphosis, because without that focal point, or without the idea that there is no world, and the ancillary idea that you're trying to have an experience that shows you that and reconnects you with your higher self, your efforts at spiritual purification don't get very far. So ultimately, I guess, in any spiritual path, what you're attempting to do is reach enlightenment, so which can only ever happen now. It's not going to happen in the future. So the thought system of the world is judgmental, you know, and the thought system of, let's say, a spiritual aspirant is one that is not judgmental, but one that judges for the perspective that the thought system represents. So instead of judging as good or bad, mine and yours and all of that sort of thing, the yin yang, we're judging for a higher decision, a higher reckoning, right? So we take everything to God, or everything to universal mind, or everything to the Higgs boson field, in the recognition that it's just molecules and particles that I have given a meaning to. And yet when I was born here, or seemingly incarnated here, there was no handbook saying this is, you know, you had to learn 12 years generally of schooling, starting to get an idea, 12 years generally of schooling to tell you that everything's dualistic, and to educate you to the fact that everything's dualistic here, so you fit in with the thought system of the world. But the thought system of the world is completely fucked. You've only got to pick up a newspaper or turn on your TV and you realise that that's so. And the highest examples that we have are our politicians and leaders, and, you know, the royal family and everything. I mean, look at it. You're starting to see how there's something wrong with the world now. So being willing then to, let's say, let go of the world, or give up the world, and learn a new way to think about it based on spiritual principles, will bring you the result that your higher purpose or true purpose is designed for. You know, you do have a real reason for being here in the world. You're on a very important part of the journey of your soul, And if you don't get sidetracked with the yin-yang thought system, or if you don't get sidetracked with it too long, you'll have the opportunity to pursue your own spiritual revelations and enlightenment through the use of the principles of forgiveness and the applications of them, and patience and generosity, tolerance, and everything else. So big thanks for all the things that people do send me. Some of them are quite good. So I think that's about it for today, just a short one. Anything else, Trim, we should talk about?
I don't know.
You don't know? I don't know. We're agreed that we don't know.
Because it doesn't exist.
Well, you don't get out of it by saying it doesn't exist. Just because it doesn't exist doesn't mean you don't have to go to school.
Oh, darn it.
Oh, darn it. All right, well, we'll leave it there. Love ya. And have a great day, everybody.